Alright, so let's solve today's question number 20, valid parentheses. It's an easy level 1 because tomorrow I'm going to try to tackle a hard level valid parentheses question, so I'm going to use this one as a warm-up today. Given a string containing a certain type of brackets, parentheses, we need to determine whether the input string is valid or not. The validity is determined by two criteria here. The open brackets must be closed by the same type, and the open brackets must be closed in the correct order. So the example 1, 2 are good ones because it's closing the same type of brackets and it's in good order. The example 3 is not good because these open brackets is not the same type of the closing one. And number 4, you can say that it's trying to close the brackets not in the correct order, or you can also say, just looking at the middle two things here, it's closing brackets are not of the same type. So either way you get a conclusion that number 4 is not okay. Number 5 is okay. So the strategy is to use a stack. We do a one linear scan from the through the string. Whenever we see our open brackets, we push it onto the stack. Whenever we see our closing brackets, we try to test whether we can close the top element on the stack, because that's the latest open brackets being pushed onto the stack, which is also the one that we need to close first. If we couldn't close that one, or if there is nothing on the stack, then it's a violation to the validity of the definition of the string. So if that's the case, we just can stop the scanning. Otherwise, we will pop the open brackets because it's officially being closed, so we can pop it off the stack. If we can do this linear scan correctly, successfully towards the end, with the stack being totally empty, meaning that we closed all the open brackets, then the string is valid. So that's pretty much the strategy. It's pretty simple. So we're gonna use a stack of characters. Let's call it open, and we're gonna enumerate over the characters from left to right. So if it's open brackets, we should push it onto the stack. So in order to determine, so push. Otherwise, we test whether the stack is. Otherwise, it's this first condition here is testing whether the character we are looking at is open brackets. So since there are 3 types and they are 1-to-1 matched, one type can only, one closing brackets can only close the open one of the same type. We can have a simple mapping here, which is character to character. We're just gonna match the open parentheses with the same type of closing parentheses. So it's let me code it quickly. Nope. Yeah, that's about it. So we have 3 pairs of open and closing brackets. So the keys are the open ones and the values are the closing one. So to test whether this current character is an open one, we just count whether it's it has key value pairs in the map. And then if otherwise, we'll test whether we can actually close the brackets of the same type. The condition is just do we still have one that we need to close, and if so, is it of the same type? if we do have one and it's so happen to be the one that we can actually close, so we just pop it off. And in the end, the stack should be empty if the input string is valid. So that's pretty much the code. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, and it's working. So yeah, that's the question today.